Hello and welcome to StudyIQ English. The topic here is quite a paradoxical one. On the one hand, we say that India is now one of the leading economies of the world, and as per the multi-dimensional report of the Niti Aayog, recently it was also claimed that many people in India have come out of multi-dimensional poverty. It is also believed that India today is one such nation with maximum majority population who is dependent on government's public distribution system. And the government has ensured providing food security to so many people. We have defeated hunger as a problem. Although malnourishment, hidden hunger, protein hunger, these are the problems that do characterize us. But one big achievement is that hunger as such is not a problem for us. This is something we believe in. This is something we celebrate too. At the same time, if you look at the Global Hunger Index of 2024, you will see that India's ranking is a proof of the fact that still we have a long way to go. Even today, there are many people, there are many communities who are vulnerable, who are marginalized, who are victims of chronic poverty. And for them, affording 2 meals a day is a big dream. They still experience food insecurity, let alone malnourishment. No wonder in India the rate of child stunting, wasting, it's also very, very high. And this topic here is talking about how the Indian government, in association with United Nations World Food Programme, has been trying to solve the problem of chronic hunger and malnourishment by providing people 24/7 easy access to ration, easy access to food grains. And here comes the concept of the Grain ATM in India. It's not a new concept as such. It was initiated in the state of Odisha last year in 2024 by the government. And since then, because it was very successful, the model has only expanded to other countries across various districts. But will it actually solve the problem of India's hunger, malnourishment, or no? That is something we need to think about. And therefore, let's quickly talk about the importance of the grain ATMs. ATMs, usually associated with dispensing cash, dispensing liquidity, are today for a lot of people the source of reliable food. The project is also known as Annapurti, fulfillment of food need, also known as the Grain ATM initiative. It is all about installing an automated grain dispensing machine which 24/7 will provide the beneficiaries. Who are the beneficiaries? The people who hold ration cards, people who are the identified recipients of free ration, subsidized ration under the NFSA, National Food Security Act, as well as the PMGKAY, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana. It is these beneficiaries who will now have access to round the clock food grains through these automated machines called grain ATMs. It is a part and parcel of India's larger public distribution system, which in itself is one of the largest subsidized and free food schemes in the whole world. The system was developed by United Nations Food Program in association with Indian government, and ultimately the purpose is to modernize food delivery and distribution. The purpose is to make sure that people do not have to wait and waste their time for hours in queues, in lines. People do not have to depend on some another officer or in charge of the ration distribution. Everything is happening in a very automated, mechanical way. Hence, there is human dignity here, there is time saving here, there is transparency here when it comes to ration delivery, plus it's a very efficient system also. The project is closely associated with the Sustainable Development Goal 2, that is achieving zero hunger for everybody across the globe by 2030. In fact, I would say it is also very close to Sustainable Development Goal 1, that is no poverty for anybody across the world by 2030. After all, hunger is derived from poverty for most people, for most communities. So, this Annapurti mission or the Grain ATM mission takes the challenge of addressing both the sustainable goals together. It is the most dignified way in which we can provide equality of food access to the vulnerable communities in India. The first such machine, the Grain ATM, was inaugurated back in Bhubaneswar, in Odisha in 2024. And since it was a successful model, being participated by the state government and the World Food Programme, it was only expanded to other districts across India. It is a wonderful way in which we can address PDS leakage, public distribution system leakage, the waste of food, expiry of food products, people not getting access to food despite having ration cards. So, all these problems will now be taken care of alongside the corruption, alongside the high handedness sometimes of the people who distribute the grains. That is extremely indignating to the interest of the beneficiaries. Now that's not going to happen because you don't have to depend on anybody to get your basic right, the right to food. And in order to address these systematic problems, the government always was wanting to create a system like Annapurti. And when it was introduced in Bhubaneswar, it came as a massive success. People really lauded this initiative. It is a fraud free, efficient, time saving, convenient food grain distribution scheme, therefore. So, what about some important features of the scheme? One, it is about authentication if you want access, which means beneficiaries can use their ration card. Aadhaar linked biometric verification can be done through fingerprinting and scanning in order to withdraw grains. The system is universal, which means any valid ration card in India is accepted regardless of the state in which you are located. Now, this is definitely a blessing for so many people in India who are working as migrant labor, people who are internally displaced, or people who are circular migrants who keep migrating from village to city or sometimes from one state to another. This is a blessing for those people. At the same time, there is a capacity to the amount of grain that people will get. A single machine can give up to 50 kilograms of rice or wheat within 5 minutes. So, reducing the long queue and the long waiting time for people. About 70% compared to the traditional outlet. So this is way more efficient because it's done through a machine, of course. And it is available for 24 hours a day, 7 days across the week. So now there is no need to wait to assemble outside the shops. There are no fixed timings. People can go as per their requirement, as per their convenience. And that's what makes the system extremely user friendly. Similarly, there is technology being used here. So we are using real-time inventory tracking, biometric verification, and connectivity with the Food Corporation of India to ensure there is no discrepancy in supply. The supply is constant so that people do not have to wait longer and people do not have to go hungry at all. Now, as I said, Odisha became the first state where the system was pioneered. Now it is operational there in 2024. And by September 2025, that is just now, this year itself, in the state, we saw many more machines being installed across so many other districts too, because the public reception has been really positive here. Then comes Gujarat. Gujarat also became another state last year after Odisha, where the first Annapurti or the food grain ATM was installed in Bhavnagar district. Other states. Last year, by November, December, there were many more states, at least 6 states, in which many other functional food grain ATMs were added. If you talk about this year, current year, that is August 2025, about 50 such units are working across the country, saving time for people, providing the most dignified way for people to access food. Now, talking about July 2025, the Annapurti was also incorporated into the PDS, Public Distribution System, in a digital mode, which means real time or quick instant monitoring of food grain movement across the country, its availability to the people. Will it impact the lives of people? Will it help us in escaping food insecurity and hunger? Absolutely yes, because the government has proven, the government says that these are all successful case studies across so many states, and it will definitely stop corruption in between, stealing of food grain in between, wasting and spoiling and rotting of food grain in between. Now, recently there was one article in the newspaper that was quite viral because it was mentioning how in countries like India, the real problem is that of food loss. While in the more developing countries, people experience even today the problem of food loss because public distribution system has its own leakages in between, lack of proper supply chains, lack of cold storage, lack of storing warehousing, stealing in between, corruption. All these are the problems of food loss as compared to more developed countries where the problem is that of food wastage. People have too much and then they waste. But for countries like ours, a significant problem is that of food loss. The food doesn't reach the people. It is lost in between. And therefore, this system will take care of that for sure. Because ration distribution is now automated. There is no need for human involvement that could cause leakages, corruption, or stealing. Another thing is efficiency. Because it is available 24/7, there is a saving of time for the customers. And millions of beneficiaries will get what they want without having to wait, without having to stand and requesting other people. Then comes the flexibility. Now imagine the life of construction workers, people of the informal economy who contribute majorly in the PDS system. For these people, there are lengthy working hours. There is hardly any proper official holiday. So they have a difficulty in going and procuring food from ration cards, shops, fair distribution shops. It is a waste of time for them. But with this food grain ATM, they can go at their own convenience. It will not hamper with their work timings. It will also help those who have migrated or who constantly migrate for work, agriculture labor, construction labor, all of them. Similarly, it is about empowerment. Empowerment because it also upholds the dignity of the recipient. No more depending on another human being, no more requesting, nothing of that sort. There is now no dependence on any fair price shopkeepers because you get something that the government has created for you. And ultimately, it is about India's food security agenda. Today, we often say that India wants to become Viksit by 2047. That's a big target. But to become that Viksit Bharat and that Atmanirbhar Bharat, absolutely food security is a must. So this initiative is a promising one. Yes, there are reports by critics. There are certain claims by the opposition parties that perhaps it is one scheme which will lead to a different kind of corruption. People's data is not safe. The machines may not be functional always. There are many things that people criticize about. But those are the long term consequences. As of now, if the system works sufficiently, to cater to the needs of people, I think this is one of the best interventions that we can do for providing a basic human right, and that is the right to food access. Now, if you look at India's position in the Global Hunger Index of 2024, we also realize how important it is for us to create such initiatives more often. Why? Because India was 105 out of 127 countries. Our score was about 27.3, and that is a serious level of hunger. We experience a critical level of hunger. No wonder we have undernourishment to about 14% of population. That is hidden hunger. We experience stunting in children. Children do not have adequate height for their age. About 35% of them. Wasted children. Children are extremely low weight. About 19% of them do not have the body weight that they should have for the given age. Ultimately, it leads to mortality. It leads to the death of children under the age of 5. And child mortality in India is grossly related to two problems. One, malnourishment, and second, lack of proper vaccine and sanitation. So, this is one key pillar of ensuring that we improve our child mortality rates. We cannot let it exist the way it is. Hence, yes, the mission Annapurti, if implemented successfully, could be a game changer when it comes to providing food and food security to millions of Indians today. And now, on that note, let's have a look at the question. Consider the following statements regarding Annapurti. One, it is an automated grain dispensing system developed jointly by the Department of Food and Public Distribution and the World Food Programme. Two, beneficiaries can access grains from Annapurti or food ATM machines only within their home state and only where their ration card is registered. And the last one, the initiative is quite aligned with the SDG, Sustainable Development Goal 2, that is zero hunger across the world by 2030. So which of these statements do you think is or are valid? You can pick the right code and post the answer. And if you want to know more about public distribution system, fair ration shops, various kinds of ration cards, stunting, wasting of children in India, across which states, which belts is it more common, you can let me know in the comment box and definitely we can create a video on that also. Now tomorrow could be too late because today is 3rd October and this is the last day for the Dashera Dhamaka sale. As we are calling it the big sale. Why? Because for the fast track batch, people who are writing exams in 2026, there is hardly any time left. Hence, we come with a very easy offer, an offer that starts from 7499 only across all the GS Foundation courses plus heavy discounts on optionals. What do you need to do? Type the code SPLIFE from your screen and enroll for this sale. It will help you because it's across Hindi, English, and in English, and it will give a professional mentorship to your preparation. But then, even if you are preparing for 27 or 2028, time is never enough when you talk about an exam like UPSC. Once again, you can use the code SPLIFE. And here also there are brilliant offers available from a price that is as basic as 18,999. And what are you getting in return? All the GS Foundation courses, evening classes, morning classes. You get CSAT. You get heavy discounts on options. You get mentorship across all current affairs issues, plus free subscription to so many other initiatives that are running right now at StudyIQ IAS. So do not waste time. You can enroll for any of these courses through the code SPLIFE. If you want to reach out directly to us, feel free. We will get back to you. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe us at StudyIQ English.